Good day, ma'am. My name is Kathy May Pasos Lagapa from BSHM2A, and for today's video, I will be reporting the Chapter 10, which is entitled Organization for Sales and Advertising. Why sales are important? Sales are said to be the lifeblood of a business. Certainly, without sales, which means orders, a company could not continue in business very long. The very importance of selling or the sales department is manifested during periods of depressed business condition, when it is difficult to get orders or to find buyers' product or service. Sales and marketing. Sales as a department of an enterprise is but a manifestation of the bigger business function of marketing. Very often, sales and marketing are used interchangeable. Marketing function. So, in the marketing of industrial, commercial, and consumer goods, certain inescapable tasks must be performed. The tasks are called marketing function. These functions are buying, selling, transportation, storage, standardization, finance risk taking, and the providing of market information. So, when we say buying, this involves the selection of the kind of goods to be bought and the determination of quality desired as well as the proper quantity needed for this specified purpose. The buyer also must select the sources of goods that he wants. Let's proceed to the selling. An important characteristic of a capitalistic economy is speculative production, the manufacture of goods before orders for them are received. Manufacturers produce the things that they think consumer will want and then try to sell them. So, for example, toy manufacturers produce their line of Christmas produce months before the holiday selling often. So, they hope that consumers will like and buy the things that they have made. So, let's proceed to the transportation. So, has a dual duty to perform goods must be taken to the places where they are wanted when they are wanted. This function involves the use of railroads, waterways, motor trucks, pipelines, and airplanes. So, next is storage. Storage is another essential marketing function. In many lines of business, goods are produced considerably in advance of the line of scales and consequently they must be stored for varying periods of time. So, the manufacturer, the wholesaler, and the retailer all store goods to some extent, hence all of them perform the storage function. So next is standardization. So the development and maintenance of standard is of value in helping buyers and sellers to the transact business in an intelligent and helpful manner. Next is market finance. Handling of any economic good is capitalistic system calls for a method of financing. Next is market risk. The mere act of owning goods carries with the escapable burden of assuming certain risks in connection with them. So these risks arise from the following possibilities. First is the goods may be damaged or destroyed in some manner. Second is they may deteriorate and become unswable, useless. The third is they may be stolen. The fourth is the price may be moved unfavorably. And fifth is the goods may be rendered obsolete by new invention or style. So let's proceed to the market information. So if the businessman hopes to achieve success in the face of the rugged competition that is characteristic of many fields, he must have market information upon to base his decision. Place of the sales department in the organization. In the manufacturing, mining, transportation, and other similar enterprises, the activity of selling is on a par with other major activities. So, the sales organization should be developed to meet the specific needs of the enterprise. So, the organization structures, however, is influenced by many factors, among which are is the nature of the products, the nature of the market sold, the marketing plan, the outgrowth of custom or tradition, the size of the company and volumes of sales, and lastly is the organizational philosophy of top management. So the nature of the product. So the company should choose the type of organization best suited to the market product. Next is the nature of the market sold. The natures of the market sold influences the type of sales organization somewhat in the same manner as does the nature of the product. Next is the marketing plan. The plan of marketing is often governed by the nature of the product as well as by the market desired, although they are not only basis of selecting a particular plan. Next is custom and tradition. Custom or tradition is influential in determining the channel to be used of marketing of product, and particular channels suggest certain types of sales organization. So next is the size of the company. The size of the enterprise and its sales volume have much to do with the organization of the sales force. Then next is philosophy of the management. This factor may likewise influence the sales of the organization structures. So let's proceed to the essential function of selling effort. So when we say essential function of selling effort, making sales does not mean merely taking orders. It means locating for more and more possible users of the products or service and persuading them to buy. So selling may be divided into three functions, namely, first is finding out what people want and need. Second is finding people who want or need it. And lastly is getting orders from them. So in a broader sense, however, selling may take on a more diversified activities. In a big marketing organization, the function of selling would be further subdivided into following function. So there are five further function. The first is product planning and development. Second is contactual function. Third is demand creation. Fourth is negotiation. And lastly is contractual. So let's proceed to the channels of distribution. So by channel of distribution are meant the step by which products are distributed from the producers or manufacturer to the consumer. So in the flow of goods from manufacturer to the consumers, the following channels may be used. From the manufacturer directly to the consumers. From the manufacturers to a retailer to the final consumers. From the manufacturers to the wholesaler to the retailer to the consumers. And lastly is from the manufacturer through a sales agent to the wholesaler to the retailer and finally to the consumer. The work of the various channels makes more efficient the marketing function. We may examine the work according to the following path that the flow of goods may take. So, first is through jobbers. So, when we say through jobbers, is the jobbers assembles products from many factories, stores them, and sells them to the retailer. Second is direct to retailers. Direct distribution by manufacturer to the retailers has some distinct advantages. And third is direct to consumers. So these channels of distribution is needed for the product which requires a high degree of technical train of salesmen in order to sell it, and when its services must be rendered in connection with the product after it is sold. And lastly is through brokers or agent. So the broker usually performs only one major function of distribution, which is selling. So let's proceed to the kinds of goods. So the sales managers may handle the marketing of producer goods and consumer goods. So when we say producer goods, often called industrial goods, are those goods which is in the further production of other goods. So when we say consumer goods are sold to ultimate consumers for their own use. Producers' goods are divided into four. First is raw materials such as iron ore, lumber, cotton, chemicals, or agricultural products. Second is fabricated parts such as the spare parts used in the assembly of automobiles, radios, refrigerators, and other appliances. Third is equipment such as machinery, conveyors, office equipment, and the like. And lastly is supplies which are goods needed in production but which do not enter into the product itself. So, consumer goods are divided into four. First is convenience goods, second is shopping goods, third is specialty goods, and lastly is unsold goods. So, continuous sales research is necessary. Many concerns maintain research bureaus in order to keep abreast of developments in both products and market. So, a case in point is a streamlined design of automobiles which was ready years before it actually appeared. So, market research. The study of market is then another job for sales research. Market may be the actual or potential. An actual market is one which there is an existing demand which may or may not be supplied at the present time. In any case, the demand is there. So, a potential market is one which the demand does not merely exist, considering demands as expressed desire and not merely as unexpressed need. So there are five directions that may be taken to meet competition, any one or all of which may be necessary, as may be determined by the market studies of the research department. These direction or factors are price, quality, service, terms, and product. So price is important. Commonly price is the expression of market value. It is the amount of money that will purchase the goods or services and which an article can command in exchange. So what is quality? Quality is considered more important than price, especially when buying to a specification. The term quality, however, has been rather missed. The term quality goods does not mean that many consumers think it means, for quality exists in different levels. Personal forces. So the very first one to be mentioned is the sales manager who must possess the desired characteristic to undertake the work mentioned above. So second is special approach. Then the third is study of markets and territories, the field sales force, and advertising. So advertising is defined as any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services by an identified sponsor. This definition involves four key elements. First is paid form. Second is non-personal presentation. Third is ideas and services as well as goods. And lastly is identified sponsors. So the advertising department is usually a division of sales department in manufacturing enterprise, in which case the advertising manager is responsible to the sales manager. So purpose of advertising. The study of business shows that advertising is used for numerous purposes. Among the purposes of advertising that may be mentioned are the following. First is bringing customers to the place where goods are sold. Second is persuading customers to ask for a specific product. Third is to assess salesmen in making sales upon calling on the customers. And lastly is building institutional goodwill. So we cannot solve problems with the kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them, by Albert Einstein. And that's all. Thank you.